What is up? I'm Killer Keemstar, and I'm here with...
Only Use Me Blood.
This is the BadKidCast, the audio cast that you listen to
while you game.
We are actually available on iTunes now. And go to our Twitters. We'll link it in our Twitters to show you the new iTunes. To search for it, you need the purple app on iOS called Podcast. It's a purple app. It's called Podcast. And then what you want to search is for BadKidCast, one word. No spaces, BadKidCast. You'll find it. Make sure you sub to the new iTunes BadKidCast if you enjoy listening to this broadcast on iTunes. We're also available on Spreaker. We're also available on iHeartRadio. And we are now available on SoundCloud. And soon we'll be available on Stitcher and XM Radio. Go ahead.
Bam. That is... If you can't find the BadKidCast, then you're not looking hard enough because it's everywhere.
This episode of the BadKidCast has been sponsored by youtube.com/CamperPoliceUSA. Camper Police USA is a YouTube channel that finds campers and exposes them. I'm guessing.
I'm assuming so.
I just guessed. I don't really know if that's what they do, but I do know that they have some funny GTA moments that we watched over there. That was pretty funny. That he uploaded like 3 weeks ago. So check him out, Camper Police USA. I hope that's what they do on the channel because I'm expecting that.
I'm assuming so. What's in the name? Like my name's Only Use Me Blade, you'd assume I'd only use my knife on my channel.
Right.
So. Okay. The next one is also going to serve as an excellent way to send me information on your thing. This isn't a channel. This isn't an Instagram. This isn't a Pornhub page.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
I'm going to read what the gentleman wrote to me because this is an excellent business email.
Okay, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Brian. He's talking to me. I'm Brian.
Go ahead.
I just sent you $50 for my band to be sponsored by in the next BadKidCast. The band name is Yay Flask. YEFLASK. Yay Flask.
Okay.
The genre. Most venues we performed at have labeled us as a third wave ska, but we are a mix of ska, indie, punk, and rock. Based in
I don't even know what ska music is. It sounds like, is it screamer music?
No, ska is like
I've never heard of the term ska.
I'm trying to think. Do you remember the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones?
Yes.
That's ska.
Oh, okay.
And I'm trying to think of what of the other band. The No Doubt was considered ska in the beginning.
Okay.
Ska was pretty big in like mid 90s, the late 90s.
Okay.
Anyways, they're based in Atlanta, Georgia. We are the only active ska band in Georgia. They're holding it down in Georgia in the ska band.
Are they black?
We are an octet. What the hell's an octet?
I thought you read this before and you thought it was like a great email that he sent you, so you were going to reread it.
Okay, so
now you're stuttering on the
I didn't read it. I just looked at it. I'm like, that's a nice looking email. But I didn't like read the...
Wait, so you judged how good the email looked by its format and not by its contents?
Yes. I judged the book by its cover, but I'm sure it's an excellent read. So.
Well, you're going to read it, so...
They have one drummer, two guitarists, one bassist, one tenor saxophone, one trumpet, one trombone, and one baritone saxophone.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah. I don't really want to read the rest of this, but basically they sound like an amazing band.
That dude sent us $50 to promote his band, and you don't want to read the rest of that email?
Some things that are happening in the very near future. We are starting a Kickstarter for a van/recording/tour project where we'll release a 7-song EP. The Kickstarter will help with a possible East/West Coast tour to happen in the fall of 2014. Our debut album entitled Pint Night and bonus disc Another Round.
Pint Night. I like that.
And the bonus disc Another Round. That's pretty awesome. Will be released in early July. Hopefully this information and information in our social media accounts will give you everything you need to know. Thank you for...
So what are we promoting? We got to tell the fans to go somewhere.
Yeah, we're on whatchamacallit now. We're on iTunes.
iTunes.
So
yeah.
we put stuff in the description of iTunes?
No, it doesn't work that way.
Okay.
We got to verbally tell them where to go.
Okay, verbally tell them where to go. Okay, it's YFlask, YEFLACK.com. That's their website. their Instagram and their Facebook and their Twitter
are on the website.
Are all on the website.
So everybody go to that website and check out Ska.
Yeah, it's YFlask.
Music.
YEFLA.
YFlask.
YFlask.com. And they got all the social media stuff there.
I know they're a sponsor. I probably shouldn't say this, but why that name?
You know what? Based on their albums, Pint Night and Another Round and YFlask, I think they're music for people that like to party a little bit.
All right.
And this is the best part of it. This is what I really liked about the whole email. When they said, thank you for letting us be a sponsor for the best podcast out there.
So basically, when you seen the email, you saw the beginning of it, and you were like, this looks like a good shit. You skimmed down to the bottom, and you were like, I'm reading this email because he said that in the end.
Yep.
All right. Okay, so our third and final sponsor is the gentleman that is looking for that guy who camps, who's recently sponsored an episode of Drama Alert, too.
That's amazing.
So, guys, thank you for everyone trying to find camp. Let's start the show. You ready?
Bam, let's go.
So, you uploaded a video.
Yes, I did.
And that video went into great discussion of why esports wasn't a sport.
Correct.
Would you... I think you're wrong.
Okay.
Like, esports is, in fact, a sport. It's a modern sport.
Okay.
So I don't get why you and why all these commentators are making these videos saying Nadeshot's not an athlete. How dare they call themselves athletes? How dare they call pro Call of Duty a sport? Like, I don't understand why
because it's not a sport, and I'll explain why. Okay?
There's like these wave of videos that are going out there. I don't get it. Why it is a sport?
Then you have to hear us out. Okay. If you look up the definition of sport, okay, and you can look up anywhere the definition of sport. In the definition of sport, one key element in every definition, it's always like the first or second word, is athlete, athletic, physical activity, stuff like that. Okay.
Okay. Well, what about chess? Chess is played in the Olympics.
Doesn't mean just because something's in the Olympics doesn't make it a sport.
That's what the Olympic is. It's competing athletes.
But chess players are not athletes.
They are.
They're not.
It's a sport.
It's not though.
It is a sport.
Look up what sport means, bro.
Dude, the other thing that pisses me off about all this is like, okay, like things change, dude. We're talking about technology. Like, it used to be back in the day, you'd get mail to your mailbox, and it was a letter. Mm-hmm. Now we have emails. It's still a letter.
Okay, but the definition of mail has nothing to do with the physical form of it.
Yeah, it does.
No.
The definition of mail was like a letter that was sent to you. And then the internet came up, and it was like, oh, or an electronic email.
Here's the thing. The reason
technology changed it, and that's why technology is changing sports.
But so you can maybe make a little side thing saying esports. I have no problem with it being called esports, but it's not a sport. They're not athletes. Athletes require physical activity. Now
you're so wrong on this.
I'm not wrong though. Look at the definition.
They wear jerseys. They compete.
That doesn't make it a sport.
And they're moving their thumbs.
So that doesn't. You need to do more than just move your thumbs to be considered an athlete.
Okay, well, what about soccer? Right? In soccer, or if you're from the UK, they call it football. Right? Mm-hmm. You don't move your hands, or you're not using your hands.
But you're using the rest of your body.
It's not, but it doesn't matter. You can't just say it's a sport if you use this percentage of your body as opposed to that percentage. You can't make that argument.
It's not. But here's the thing, though. Being a football or soccer player, you need to be athletic. If you're not athletic, you're not going to actually be a player.
In the 1800s, when farmers used to farm, right, they would, take their little horse and their little plow and they'd go plow a field, right? Mm-hmm. Now, in today's future, right, we have people that drive tractors. Or, there's some tractors that automatically go and plow the field with no one driving it. Okay. Is it no longer farming?
No, of course it's farming.
It's farming no matter what, right?
Yeah.
Because they're farming.
But
they're competing in a sport. It's a sport.
It's not a sport, though, dude.
It is a sport.
If you look up sport, so it's a form of a sport. It's not a full-fledged sport. They're not athletes. It's a form of a sport.
All you people that are making this argument, right? You're not alone, right? There's a bunch of commentators that have said they're not athletes. They're all you people are doing is saying, "Hi, I'm stuck in 1992."
No, that's not it.
It's 2014.
It's not.
Things are changing. Technology is changing, and this is now considered a sport.
By definition, it's not a sport.
By definition, it is a sport.
How is by definition is it a sport?
Because a sport is, athletes competing.
They're not athletes, though.
They are. They are fucking athletes. They sit there and train all day to move their thumbs and have fast reaction time and to combat other people. Are they using computers? Are they using, a gaming consoles to battle out this sport? Of course. That doesn't negate it from being a sport. It's a fucking sport.
Now, if Wings were to, Wings supposedly is some great Call of Duty player, right? If Wings were to get into the Call of Duty esports scene and become an esports player, right?
All right.
Would you call Wings at his current state an athlete?
And I understand the joke because he's overweight and everything. Mm-hmm. But yes.
It's not really a joke.
Yes.
You consider Wings of Redemption an athlete in any sense of the form.
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
He's fucking competing.
He's a competitor. I will say that it's a competitor. It's a spectator. It is a spectator sport, but it's not a sport. They're not athletes.
They are. There's no way around it. They're fucking.
Look up the. Okay, dude. This isn't.
You're saying physical activity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can't label physical activity as if you're moving your fingers, that's not physical activity. You can't call it that. It's physical activity.
So what we're doing right now is physical activity.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's not.
We are.
It's not.
We're talking. We're
talking's not physical activity.
It is.
It needs to be an athletic movement. It needs to be something that if you do it for a while, you're going to get a workout. How about that?
They are. They work out every day. They train every day.
They don't physically work out.
Okay. I seen this first fucking hand, dude. I seen this shit firsthand. The pro gamers were playing Flappy Bird nonstop to fucking improve their reflex skills. I saw it on Twitter.
Okay, reflexes are a completely different thing than athletic ability.
What do you mean? Yes, it is. It's the same fucking thing. All you people have lost your fucking mind sitting here having this debate. They're not athletes.
The thing is, though,
it's
not even a debate, though, bro.
I know it's not. It's a sport.
No. You didn't let me finish. It's not a debate because literally the definition of sport, esports doesn't fit into that. Okay, it does. You know the term every square is a rectangle, but not every rectangle is a square. Have you ever heard that term?
I heard you say some shit like that in your video.
Okay. So do you want me to explain that? Does it make sense?
Go ahead.
All right. So let's say you take a four-sided object, right? Like a shoebox, a box of rice, whatever. Okay, it's a four-sided.
It all has four sides and it all has 4 90-degree angles.
Okay. Now a rectangle, okay, it might have like the length might be different than the width, right?
Right.
But a square is literally all 4 of those things. It's all those things together. Plus, on top of that, it needs to be equal lengths of all the sides, right?
Yeah.
And that's the definition of a square, okay? So, esports, competitive Call of Duty, competitive gaming, whatever, okay? It does fit all the attributes of sports, but the one thing that it doesn't fulfill is the athletic ability and physical ability, okay?
No, it doesn't.
Exactly.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
No, it does. It does is what I meant to say. Because you can't take some random person out of a crowd, right, and sit there and put them on Call of Duty, and they can't compete on the same level. Why? Because they didn't train. Because they're not athletically prepared themselves for this type of competition. Their reflexes in their hands to control the controller that controls the guy is not there. It's not sound. There isn't practice. There hasn't been athletic training involved to compete on that level.
Okay, what we disagree on is the fact that yes, that is a skill. There's a skill that I do not possess. It is a skill. I agree with that, but it's not an athletic skill.
Yes, it is.
Let me
ask you a question, right?
Go ahead.
Do you think skateboarding is a sport?
Absolutely.
People didn't think skateboarding was a sport for a really long time. In fact, there was like this big movement that trying to ban skateboarding everywhere.
Okay.
And then you know what happened?
What?
Like current times happened. And oh shit, skateboarding actually is a sport.
Okay, I'm not debating that. I'm cool with the esport thing. It's fine. The people that are in competitive gaming probably don't give a shit. That's the funny thing. That people think that the people in esports care. They don't. They're doing their thing. They're fucking.
You ready for the closer to prove that you're wrong?
I'm not, but go ahead.
NASCAR is considered a sport.
Now, to me, I don't think it should be a sport.
It's considered a sport.
I understand it's considered a sport.
In fact, they have the record for the most attendance of any sporting event in the world. NASCAR does. How can they have the record for the most people attending this sporting event than any other sporting event in the world if it's not technically a sport? Bam!
That's not.
Who wins?
Please don't yell in my ear.
Who wins?
That's not a win, dude.
Who wins?
Dude, you keep on going off on all these tangents. Look at the definition of what sport is. It doesn't fit it. It's almost there. Maybe. Okay, how about this?
NASCAR's a sport, bro.
Do you think chess is a sport?
Yeah, tactically, yeah.
See, I people say that this is a sport. I don't think it's a sport. Based on because I'm just used to the definition of sport means physical activity and being an athlete. Now, it's an e-sport. I'll give it. You know what? Maybe later on they might change the definition. But as of today, in 2014, Mr. Only Blade does not consider it a sport.
The definition has already been changed.
How's it been changed?
Because esports and competitive Call of Duty is, in fact, a sport. And those are athletes competing.
They're not athletes.
Yes, they are.
They're not fucking... I'm sorry, people that are in esports. I know that you train. I know that. You're better at Call of Duty than me. More power to you. I think you guys are awesome. The thing
that's even scarier about this is not just that you don't get it, is that there's like other people that are making videos.
It's scary that you don't understand the simple basic concept of a definition. A definition of something. Why do we have definitions, dude? You're basically saying, oh, okay, we'll use some definitions, but if it doesn't prove my point, we're going to change the definition.
But the point that I've already made is that the definition of farming in the 1800s is way different than the definition of farming today. That's what I'm saying. Times change. Definitions change based on current events. Words change. Meanings change. And the meaning of sport has changed.
If you look up any definition of sport online, like I went to like probably 10 different websites, and they all had the same basic function. All the things that Call of Duty is there, but also it requires physical activity and being an athlete. That's it. And so it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. Why is
Red Bull only sponsors athletes?
No, they don't. They sponsor fucking COD players too.
Though they're athletes.
No.
They're athletes.
They're not though. I don't.
They're athletes.
They're not. I'm sorry.
They are athletes.
And the thing is the COD players. I don't think the COD players are offended by that. It's not. It's not offensive.
I would be.
Why? I would be more offended if let's say I was an athlete. Let's say I was a fucking a football player, basketball player, whatever, right? Let's say I'm fucking LeBron James, right? I'm out there, I'm training, I'm in the gym, I'm on the road, I'm traveling, I'm physically exerting my body, and my body's a fucking temple. And here comes some parasite fucking waddling in here, and he says he's a fucking athlete? Get out of here.
He is.
He's not.
They have to sit there and grind and play hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of the game and practice. They go through mental exhaustion. I'm guaranteed their fucking hands are hurting at some points.
Dude, I've streamed for 6 hours at a time. At the end of it, I was like, I'm a little tired, but I wasn't like, fuck, that was a workout.
It is. The mental straining that goes through a competitive gamer is unreal.
Oh, absolutely.
You got to understand that
I agree with you on that.
Fucking around.
I agree with you on that.
They're not just fucking around playing COD. They're not, ooh, I missed that guy. Ooh, I shot that guy.
I'm not disagreeing with you on the mental level. I'm not disagreeing with you. I completely agree with you on the mental level.
These motherfuckers are athletes.
They're not athletes, dude. Look up what athlete means. Look up what athlete means, bro. It requires physical activity. And playing Call of Duty, I'm sorry, esport athletes.
20 years from now, when they're playing fucking esports in the Olympics, what are you going to say then? Not a sport. Still not a sport.
If the entire society around us really feels the need to change the definition to include chess and fucking Call of Duty people, then so be it.
Over in like Korea, like fucking gaming is more of a sport than any other sport. The shit's on TV.
There's difference between a spectator event and a sport, dude.
No.
Sorry, it's in the definition, dude. Until they change the definition, that's what I'm going by.
The definition now has already been changed.
It hasn't been changed.
It is changed.
Where has it been changed? They put fucking selfie and they put fucking bootylicious in the fucking dictionary, in like the Webster dictionary. They've updated the dictionaries over the year. Everything I looked up when I looked up sport as of right now.
So everybody that calls esports a sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's you. So who's right?
No, a lot of people agree with me.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't agree with you.
Then that's fucking life.
So the definition's already been changed. That's what you don't get. People change the definitions. People make words. People make what is what. And people have decided that esports is a sport.
They haven't decided that yet.
They have very much decided.
They need to change the definition of what sport is, then to get rid of the physical activity part, and then there you go. Then yeah, I'll call it a sport all fucking day long.
It is a sport.
Anyhow, it's not though.
Anyhow,
look at the fucking definition. I don't see. The thing is, I don't feel like we need to talk about this for 20 minutes or even make a video about this. Look at the fucking definition. Definition is X's it out. It's not a sport.
The definition is outdated.
That's retarded, dude.
And regardless, even within the definition, there is physical activity in Call of Duty esports.
Moving your thumbs and hand-eye coordination is not enough to be considered athletic.
Based on what?
Based on what a fucking athlete does.
Because you just said that. You can't. You don't just make the rules.
I didn't make the rules. Look up the definition.
Yeah, physical activity is moving your hands. You just said it's not.
Well, then that means what we're doing right now. If you're gonna say that little amount of exertion is physical activity,
it is.
It's not though.
It is physical activity.
It's not physical activity.
Well, does it say that in order to be a sport, it has to be a certain amount of physical activity? Then fuck yourself.
No, it doesn't. But any fucking rational person would come to that conclusion, dude.
Any rational
person would come to that conclusion, dude. The thing is, you're nuts. You're fucking insane.
You're insane. These people are wearing jerseys. They're fucking
Who the fuck
training.
cares? I can wear a
They're
jersey.
on teams.
There's
they have
people
sponsorships from fucking Red Bull and Monster. These are fucking pro athletes competing at the highest level of Call of Duty.
You can raise your voice all you want. They're not athletes. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, dude.
I'm sorry to burst yours. They are.
My bubble's not burst. My bubble is strong.
Dude, they're fucking athletes.
They're not athletes, bro. I'm sorry. They're not.
Oh, my God.
I know they're not.
Just stop talking about it. You lose. Let's move on.
No, what are you talking about? I never lost. I'm fucking standing.
You lost the argument.
I didn't lose the argument, dude. You kept on coming with what you said. I corrected you, and now it's over.
All I'm saying is you made the statement that esports is not a sport, so therefore, by definition, you lose the argument.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
I'm sorry.
Okay. This is the part where you let dumb people just be about their business and be like, okay, I'll let you win that one. Yep, I can see.
People have already decided that esports is a sport. On that note, I think we should take a break.
No, if we were to go out into the street and ask 100 random people, do you think that competitive Call of Duty players, I'm talking about just random people at the grocery store, okay? We can ask any age, any whatever, okay? Ask 100 people. Do you think that Call of Duty or competitive gaming,
right?
Competitive video gaming, teams of competitive video gaming playing at events, do you think that that's a sport?
And I think that the majority of the people that you ask would probably agree with you.
Thank you.
And I'll explain why.
Okay.
Because if you would have asked in the 1980s or the early 90s, those 100 people, if they considered skateboarding a sport, they would say no, it's not a sport. And the thing is times are changing, right? Things are changing. Technology is changing. And soon the whole world will know that Call of Duty is, in fact, a sport played on a pro level. But right now, it's new. So there are a few people that are being conservative like yourself or like those people in the 80s and early 90s that said skateboarding's not a sport. I get that. Eventually, you will catch up to reality and understand that Call of Duty esports is, in fact, a sport. We'll take a break. And we are back. So, yeah, we pretty much concluded that esports is, in fact, a sport.
So if someone's naked, does that mean they have clothes on? Is yes or no?
No.
But if they're naked, aren't they wearing a birthday suit? Isn't a suit clothes? See how retarded that logic is, sir?
Listen, esport is a sport. But listen, real quick.
Okay.
Apparently, there is this Shroomcast that we've done that people are begging for.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why we haven't uploaded is because, honestly, I don't think it was a good cast.
I personally think it was a great cast.
I don't think it was a good cast, and this is why. people are expecting from us to upload a cast of us on shrooms and be like, whoa, the room is melting, or have these crazy philosophies of life, like when you're on shrooms and stuff like that. These shrooms were not that good.
Here's the thing. Now, before I get into this, if Keem and I like don't agree on what we're going to upload, normally we'll just be like, we won't do it. Okay, like we need to have both keys, in turn at the same time. I personally think that we, after the initial start of it, we got into some pretty deep conversations, and that's what I was expecting out of the Shroomcast, and that's why I think it was good. Yeah, the shrooms were not that great.
It's like we saw a painting in my house that was like 3D that isn't normally 3D for like a brief moment, and we laughed a little bit, but it wasn't like I've done shrooms like 3 times in my life. That
was my third time.
That was your third time. So we know what like being on shrooms is like, and that wasn't it. That was just a smidgen of it.
It was weak.
It was really weak.
It was like taking, like, I've never done ecstasy, but it was like taking ecstasy when it was really just an Advil.
I would prefer to redo the Shroomcast to get good shrooms and to do it right. You know what I mean? I don't want to upload shit.
Okay. I really wanted to upload it, though, because I think it was really good. I think as far as a cast goes, it was a good cast. Okay.
Well, how about this? We'll review it. If we like it, then we'll put it public.
Okay. I already like it. I was there.
You don't remember, though.
No, I do remember.
I don't remember what was said, to be honest.
Do you remember the whole thing about me talking about people unsubscribing and how it hurt me?
No.
You don't remember that? That was classic.
I don't remember any of that.
Oh.
And we might upload it. We're going to review it. If I change my mind, then we'll upload it. Now, here's the other thing.
Okay.
We went out last weekend.
Yes, we did.
Every year, I meet up with my high school friends, and we go to this thing called the Wellsville Fishing Derby.
Can I just say before you start this, every single time that I go through these little things where I'm like, I'm going to stop drinking, something will come up that pretty much requires drinking. The last time, about 6 months ago, I was like, dude, I got to fucking cut this shit out, right?
Right.
As soon as I did, guess what happened? Ying's had a $25 all-you-can-drink special that night. And I was like, you're fucking killing me. Are you serious?
Are you talking about the Super Bowl?
No, this is before the Super Bowl. This is before the Super Bowl. It was like a Chinese New Year. I don't remember exactly when. But, yeah, so there always comes up. So I stopped drinking. But then Keem's like, dude, go fishing with me. Go ahead.
So, anyhow, in high school, I had this friend, Mike, that likes fishing all the time, right? And there was this group of us. There was probably 10 of us that used to like all hang out no matter what. So he invited like Matt and this other kid, Josh, or someone to go with him to this fishing derby, right? Well, they went and they had an amazing time. Like they hooked up with some girls or whatever. So then next year, we all heard these stories of what happened at the fishing derby. I went and my friend Ken went and all these other people showed up, right? And the first one that I went to was a fucking party, right? Forget fishing in the trench and the traditional senses of it, right? What was going on was Mike was there to fish at the fishing derby. If he catches a fish, you know, he could win the community one that's worth like $2,000 or the top prize worth $1,000 if they're tagged, right?
Yeah.
That's not why we were all going to this thing. We were all going to this thing to party. Like there were so many fucking girls, so many dudes. We would have music blaring. It's cold out. Everybody's got tents. It was a party, right?
Right.
And we used to do this every fucking year. All right. So as we became older, right, people started to get like girlfriends and stuff. And then eventually, you know, wives. And like the party aspect of it, the crazy, wild shenanigans of, you know, fist fights and slinging water balloons across the lake and fucking getting... I got arrested at this fucking thing. One time, me and Dustin were there, and we were like... It was Thursday. Like, this thing, it goes from Saturday and Sunday. We would get there on Thursday and camp out weeks, like, days ahead of time, right?
Yeah.
Thursday night, I'm bored out of my mind, right, because the party hasn't showed up yet. And I'm like, let's go blow off some fireworks. So we go into the fucking park, the like little restroom that's there at the park, and me and Dustin, I'm filming the fucking thing. I'm making a video, thinking like I'm on Jackass or something. We're blowing off fireworks inside this thing. Me and Dustin are drunk. We're laughing our fucking asses off. We come out, and there's a fucking huge cloud of smoke coming out of the bathrooms, right? I look over in the field and I see these headlights. They're like bouncing up and down. I'm like, look at this fucking drunk idiot, Dustin, driving through the field, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the lights come on. It was a fucking cop in an SUV coming for us. So we start running.
So weak.
We start running. We're running through the baseball field, and we're like, there's no way he's going to chase us through the baseball field. Sure enough, he fucking starts chasing us right through. We jump over a fence. We're climbing up this fucking hill through bushes and fucking trees, right? I get to the top, and we're in a cemetery. I'm sitting behind like a tombstone hiding, and these fucking cops are coming in from every direction. Me and Dustin split off at this point. So I'm shimmering around this tombstone as the cops are coming with their lights. And eventually there was like 3 lights on the fucking tombstone that I was on. So there was no way for me to hide. And, you know, we got arrested, and they charged us with arson. And they called us the Bang Bang Boys in the fucking
Are you
paper.
serious?
Yeah.
The Bang Bang Boys.
And on the radio, the Bang Bang Boys got caught in Wellsville.
Is that where the GTA, when me and Dynasty would throw sticky bombs, is that where you got that from? That's awesome.
But so anyhow, we ended up getting charged with arson.
Jesus.
So
that's a serious crime.
For blowing off fireworks in a fucking brick bathroom? Yeah. Because the bathroom, you can't burn the bathroom down. It was made out of fucking brick.
Yeah.
But anyhow,
stupid bathroom.
At the end of the day, I ended up calling down to the court, and I said, listen, we fucked up. We go to this fishing derby every year. I want to make good on it. And me and Dustin went and did community service before we even went to court, and it got thrown out.
Bam. That's awesome.
But anyhow, the fishing derby used to be this party, used to be this event. And as we're getting older, right, it's less and less people. Some of my friends, like my friend Matt, like moved down to South Carolina. He doesn't show up anymore. And it's become this thing that dies a little bit each year.
Okay.
All right. So now it's down to like 3 people that show up out of like the 20 or 25 like key members that are there. Now it's like Mike, Ken, and me. So what Mike, Ken, and me do is we bring people with us. Mm-hmm. So I decided to, bring you and Josh with me to the fishing derby. And we had a fun fucking time.
We did.
One of the craziest thing is my friend Mike, he's a frack driller down in Pennsylvania. And what he does is he drills, like he frack drills and like extracts oil from the fucking ground and does that for a living.
Wow.
And one of his workers that was working for him ended up coming with him to the fish derby. And when he heard my name, because he asked me what I do online, I said my name's Keemstar. I do like gaming videos. He knew who I was from Halo 3.
That's awesome.
And he was like fanboying out. But anyhow, we were there. We were doing some shots and drinking and having a good time. And Ken is my friend that I grew up with, and he is a hard ass.
Yeah.
Ken gets.
Was that the one that was wrestling?
Yeah. Ken gets in a fight every single year. There's some reason that someone gets punched in the face.
Yeah.
And Ken is the guy that is the one that delivers the punches. But Ken, being the drunk Ken that I know, got into this wrestling mode, right? And he wanted to wrestle this one dude, and the dude actually beat him. It was the first time I seen Ken get beat. And the dude, apparently, the reason why Ken got beat is because he was 4th in the state in wrestling.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that was
picked on the wrong one.
Yeah.
There's a comedian that was talking about that. He's like, yeah, don't start fights with people because you don't know if they're like jiu-jitsu or MMA fighters now. You know, it's tough to call.
But what was funny is Ken almost beat him. Like the kid puked or whatever. But anyhow, long story short, we're all wrestling. We're all drinking. We're having a good time. Mm-hmm. And go ahead.
No, go.
So there's this tradition we do at the fishing derby, right? Is we're camped on one side of the fishing derby, and what we do is we sling water balloons in the dead of night so we can't be seen across the river and hit the unfortunate people that camp on the other side of the river. And we've been doing this every year, and it's hysterical. This year, we started fucking doing it. Blade helped out, and so did Josh, I believe.
I did?
I think you did. You launched one.
I think I did. That was a little fuzzy.
So anyhow, we're launching. Now, again, this is like the 3rd week of April when this goes down. So it's cold. It's not warm. You get hit with a water balloon, you're going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Right? And we're outside camping. We fling these water balloons across the river like we do every year. And we start fucking hearing this motherfucker yelling and screaming across. And we're like, we're hitting him. You can't really see if you're hitting him or not, but you can hear him like hitting his fucking camper. And one hit the fucking fire because the fire almost went out when we fucking hit that shit. Oh, my God. Anyhow, we've launched at least 12 water balloons at this fucking campsite across the river. We're wasted. the wrestling just got done. We're like, let's launch some more water balloons, yeah! So we're getting it slinged up. All of a sudden, this motherfucker comes running up, grabs the slingshot, and takes off. I'm like, who was that?
Yeah.
Because it's dark. You can't really see. There's like...
You thought it was probably like Josh or something.
Yeah, there's like campfire light. That's all you can see. So I start chasing the dude down. I'm like, who are you? What are you doing? He's like, you knocked my wine out of my glass. So I get in front of him and stop him, right? Because this motherfucker is not running away with the water balloon launcher. Like, that is the highlight of the fucking camping trip.
You're not taking that, buddy. Come on back here.
So I'm like, so listen, you have to give us, you can't just steal our fucking water balloon launcher. He's like, I'm taking it to the police. I'm like, you explain to me.
Police?
I go, you explain to me what the situation is. Now, at this time, I'm standing in front of this dude to stop this fucking old man from getting away. I say old man, but he was like, I don't know, maybe mid-40s or whatever. But anyhow, I stopped him enough where my group could come up and surround him. So now we got this dude surrounded by like 7 guys. He's all by himself. Right?
Yeah.
He's like, look, you knocked my wine glass right in my hand. And I'm thinking to myself, what an amazing shot. Right? He's like, you owe me a glass of wine. And before I can utter the words, I'm just thinking to myself, like, that is fucking like 150 yards of water balloon slinging, and we knocked this dude's wine glass out of his hand.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. I go, listen, I will replace your wine. Yeah. I'll replace your wine. He's good. Someone owes me a wine glass. I come back. I'll get you wine, right? Yeah. So I get him calmed down enough. He comes back. I'm like, we got wine. And everyone's like, yeah, we got wine. We get over there. We have no fucking wine. I'm like, you want a Jaeger bomb? At that point, he already walked his ass back there. And fucking, so he just threw the fucking slingshot on the ground. He's like, whatever. So,
we got to a point where it's like, first off, Keen called us and was like, be ready in a half hour. I'm like, okay. He talked to me before, but I didn't really feel like going. And then we end up going. We end up getting a half gallon of Jaeger because there was a bunch of us. And then we're drinking it, and it reaches a point where I'm like, where the fuck are we going to sleep? And then they start talking about going to the bar. Now, we're all kind of decked out for camping. We're not really in bar attire, but the area where we're at, it'd be okay for us to go to the bar.
Yeah.
So,
like, we're in the middle of Hickville, so if we went to the bar, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Even though we smell like campfire, which is the worst smell ever. I hate campfire.
And the thing was, I didn't get wasted, but I had a nice, healthy drunk.
Nah, you were wasted. Everyone was wasted at the campsite.
You know, I think I was, because the whole slinging the slingshot thing, I remember bits and pieces of it.
And the thing is, then we went on a trip to McDonald's, and we sobered up a little bit.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, we've decided at this point that we're going home. And my one friend, Eric Swanson, that was there.
First and last, damn.
I guess Eric or Swanson, whatever. We would call him Swanson. So anyhow, Swanson, fucking, he was there. And Swanson is a truck driver who's like this real, like, I don't know how to describe him, but he was in the military. He's a real, like, no bullshit fucker, right?
Yeah.
And all my friends that I grew up with, they think that every day is Fast and the Furious. Like, it's big monster trucks going 90 miles per hour down the road.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they do, right? So we're following Swanson back, right? And I'm, older now. Like, I don't hang out with my high school friends more than, like, twice a year. So I'm not really into the fucking, like, going as fast as you fucking can to the point where you almost die every night on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the same for Swanson. He's still stuck in that mindset with his big, giant diesel truck. And he's like...
shut up about the fucking truck.
And we're trying to follow him, which is like an hour drive back through Arcade, because we ended up deciding that we're going to stop and, have some drinks or whatever. And it just ends up being like this crazy, like, we lose him because he's going so fast, and we stop and take a piss, and he's coming back, and he's like squealing his tires in front of us. Yeah. Anyhow, we get out to the fucking bar.
So you have to think, by now, I'm in this mode where I'm like, I just want to go home. I want to be asleep, and we're going to a bar. Like, I'm literally like, I just want to fucking go to sleep. And so was Josh. Josh was the same way.
I was kind of the same way as well, because we are already been drinking and doing all this stuff and sobered up at this point.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't stop there. We decided to go out to the bar again.
So we went to one bar, and then we went to the bar that was open till 4.
Yeah. So we went to the first bar, and there were some shenanigans that went down at the first bar. Like, what did Josh say to that one girl?
Oh, my God. I'm trying to remember what the fuck he said. It was something about gaping asshole, and it was like...
No.
What do you say?
We're out smoking, and in the smoke section, I should say. Because I'm the only one that still is infected by Marlboro Lights. But anyhow, we're in the smoking section, and this girl is out there. And first of all, it was weird going back home because like we saw like 2 or 3 girls that had black eyes. Which I just thought was weird. Like,
yeah, there was a couple girls that had black eyes. Like, damn, these are some insubordinate hoes. God damn.
Anyhow, Josh was talking to one of the girls with a black eye and some other girl, and the girls are like, "I am freezing," and he said something like, "Well, if I need to start having sex in the cold if your vagina freezes or something or shrinks." He goes, "Does your vagina shrink in the cold?" And the girl's like, "Yes." And he's like, "Well, then I need to start having sex in the cold or something like that."
Yeah, he said something. I forgot how he phrased it, but it was pretty much just like, "This is awesome because your gaping vagina fucking clams up." And I was like, "What?"
It was the fucking most rudest shit I've ever heard.
But he did say it with such confidence that. And the girl wasn't too offended.
Yeah, it actually worked. But anyhow, so then we go to the bar that's open till 4 o'clock in the morning, and that's a little cloudy for me.
Yeah.
But it was a crazy night. There was supposed to be a story in this.
Oh, I felt like I won the lottery.
How?
Because remember I had spent my money for the night.
Oh yeah.
And then I was like, dude, I want to go home. I'm done. I'm drunk, and I don't have any more money. Right. And so then Josh was like, dude, you have a second bank account that you never use. And so I go up to the ATM, and I was able to pull out like $150. I was like, woohoo! I was jumping around.
Was there any money in that bank account?
Yeah.
Oh, there's actually money in the bank account.
Yeah. What do you think? I just fucking overdrafted it?
Yeah.
You thought like I overdrafted? That's an alcohol problem, bro.
He nods to me and he says, without fucking making a sound, he lips, "I did."
All right, so let's just get out of the way. So pretty much the reason why I have a second bank account, and this is an ordeal, okay? Fuck New York State.
How the fuck were you going to be able to whisper that to me and try to hide it from the cast
I don't
without
know.
me rolling?
I don't know. It was a
like,
stupid move. So here's the situation, right? So Josh gets in a car accident, right? He gets in a fucking car accident.
Okay.
And his car's totaled. He's in between cars.
And for those of you that don't know, Josh is Blade's roommate.
Correct. So Josh gets in a car accident, not that night, but I'm saying like months ago. He gets in a car accident, and then it's a situation where he's waiting for the settlement from the car accident. He's without a car. He borrowed his grandma's car for a while. Blah, blah, blah. It pretty much hits a situation where he needs to borrow my car, which I'm totally fine with. To put gas in it, you're good to go. Now, the thing is, I've never registered my car in the state of New York since I moved out here to Buffalo. And I've been out in Buffalo almost 2 years now. Mm-hmm. So, not good. Josh goes to work, gets in a minor fender bender with this lady in my car, and the fucking police saw it. They ran my plates. My car's not registered. They towed my car.
Okay.
So now my car's in fucking tow. And I'm like, Josh, you got to take care of this. You were driving it. And so it pretty much gets to a situation where I have to go in and say, I want to get my car out. They're like, well, it's not registered. I can't get it registered because of, I'll get into why I can't get it registered in a second. But can't get it registered. So they're like, okay, we will take your plates off and you have to have it towed back. Well, we get the car back to my house. It's now sitting in my driveway without license plates on the car. So before it had Washington license plates, now it has no license plates. I have to get the car registered. Now, in order to get the car registered, you have to have 6 points in the state of New York, okay? I got my ID. That's worth 2. I had to open up a bank account in the state of New York. So I was like,
oh, okay.
So I opened up a bank account in the state of New York. I had my mom mail me my birth certificate so I can get a social security card. I basically have to get all these pieces of information saying it's me in order for me to register the car.
Okay.
So one of those steps, like I said, was getting a bank account. So I got this bank account that I do nothing with.
Did you have to put money in?
I put money in.
How much?
$50. But I think I spent that, you know what I mean? Just going to 7-Eleven or whatever, right? And so it's views are down end of the month.
I can't believe that worked.
That's what I said too, because I was kind of drunk and they're like, dude, why don't you just use your card? And I was like, there's no money in there, you know?
Yo, so you were telling me the story at the bar. I'm a little hammered. By the way, I was at this redneck bar from back home, and they were playing nothing but country music. So I'm like in there, fucking like putting Kid Cudi on the fucking music and shit, and I'm like banging the fucking bar so hard playing drums that my fucking bruised my hand, dude.
Yeah.
Like I was just running around being an obnoxious drunk Keem. And when this story comes out, like this shit worked. Like I thought you like had a payday loan or something. I had no idea what the process was.
No, there was like $1 in there.
All I remember is you coming up and you're like, Jaeger bombs for everyone. Like I'm like,
I felt like I hit the fucking lottery. Because like if you go to a machine, right, and you know there's no money in the account, and you say, and there's a button to say withdraw 160, right?
Yeah.
And I hit that button. And it took a second, then it said dispensing. I felt like I won the fucking lotto. Like I felt like it was a slot machine. It was just dispensing money. I couldn't believe it. Obviously, like once I get paid at the end of the month or now, I'm gonna have to go take care of it. But at the time, I was like, "Fucking jackpot, let's go, dude." Okay, so another thing that fucked me up at the bar, and I didn't tell you about this. Okay, so I'm sitting there, I'm having drinks, and remember the girl that I was sitting next to and talking to, and we were slamming the fucking slamming the table or whatever.
Yes.
We end up having this long conversation, and the day before we went camping and doing all this stuff, right?
Okay.
I watched this video online of this dude that made a film for like Toronto Film Festival or whatever.
Okay.
Right? And it's where he actually broke up with his girlfriend because of Facebook, and then he ended up talking to this girl on Omegle, and the girl's like, "I don't have a Facebook. Fuck Facebook."
And then they fell in love.
Well, no, then they just partied, and that was like a missed opportunity.
Oh, okay.
So for whatever reason, like as I'm talking to this girl, and we literally, this is one of the conversations we had. Who would be okay? Have you ever heard about the 5 celebrity rule?
No.
Okay, the 5 celebrity rule. Something I've heard about it from Entourage. It goes like this. Let's say you're in a good relationship with a wife, right?
Okay.
And you're faithful to your wife. You don't fuck any other bitches, right?
Okay.
The 5 celebrity rule is under the weird circumstances that some super hot fucking celebrity were to come around, your wife would be okay with you banging her, and then if like Channing Tatum or fucking Matthew McConaughey come around, you'd be okay with her banging him. Okay.
Okay.
We started talking about that. We literally named the 5 people we would do, and like we were having a good conversation. She brought up Facebook, and I don't know what fucking possessed me to say this, but I was like, I don't have a fucking Facebook. That's for the lames. Like I don't even fuck with Facebook. And then she looked at me hella weird, and I'm like, I got to keep the fucking lie going, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, no, Facebook just is bad because I have lots of friends that sometimes they're females, and people get jealous, and it's not good for relationships. And then after that, we had some more Jaeger bombs, and then fucking, I don't know. I think I sobered up a little bit, and she didn't look that good.
You ruined it.
Ruined it.
You failed. So then on the way home, right?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about this.
I'm just like trying to get home. May have been not sober completely yet.
You were fine, though. You were fine.
I was fine to drive. And like Josh had this idea where we were going to his grandpa's that lived out in the middle of nowhere. So we would take all back roads to be there and get there safe, right?
Yep.
So we ended up getting there, right? And I was just like in asshole mode. I'm like, Josh, your grandparents don't even have a fucking pool table. What's wrong with you? And then I don't know. It was well,
the next morning,
pointless story.
The next morning, though, I saw a tweet, and it was like, you're like, I'm at somebody's random house and I'm watching the Pope, and I'm like, what the fuck? How'd you get a TV on? Like, huh?
Yeah, I had a TV in my room, the room that he put me in. Yeah, Josh comes in. He's like, listen, here's a room for you to sleep in. There's the TV. Here's a remote. I don't really have any chips, but here's some like nuts. I'm like, I want fucking chips. You're fucking this up. Your grandparents don't even have a pool table, asshole. Like, I don't know. So
stupid.
I remember waking up in the morning and feeling guilty about that. So apparently our little friends that we went on the Denver trip with went on another trip to Dallas, and some crazy shenanigans happened.
Are you able to talk about that?
I can talk about some of the stuff, not everything. Okay. But, for those of you that listen to the podcast about the trip, Dylan and Robert and Chris ended up going back to Dallas to get some shit done. And apparently fucking Dylan went and ordered a goddamn taser.
That's not a good idea for Dylan.
He bought a taser on Amazon and had it mailed to his fucking rooms to fuck with Chris, to tase Chris.
That's fucked up.
So Chris ended up coming in the room with like chocolate syrup and like all this shit and like sprayed it all over Dylan's room. Like, he showed me pictures of the room. The room was like disastered. It looked like fucking Nickelodeon fucking went in there and did a fucking game show.
No shit.
Like there was just shit everywhere. So apparently somehow there's a fight that breaks out between a bunch of them, and the room ends up needing to be cleaned, right? So they fucking went to the maid and was like, here's $100, fix this room, and the hotel charged them $1,000, and then she ratted them out to the hotel, kept the $100 and ratted them out to the hotel, and they charged them $1,000.
Jesus.
To clean up the room.
Fuck. Imagine having $1,000 charge in your card. You'd be like, what?
Yeah. So that's what happened with them. What do you think about what's going on in the community?
What's going on in the community?
I don't really know. I was hoping you were going to pick it up from there.
I mean, the only real thing that's kind of going on, the two hot topics this week are obviously the esport thing. I don't know, how did the esport thing even come about?
I don't know. Everyone keeps on making stupid videos like they're not athletes.
Oh, the reason why? No, this is the reason why is because they're at the X Games. That's what prompted this, because MLG is now going to be at the X Games. Like when they show the X Games on ESPN, they're going to show. And
again, skateboarding, snowboarding, all that shit, monster trucks, fucking riding dirt bikes.
I'm not going to get into this. And the second story that happened this week is the owner of the Clippers. Do you know about this?
Oh, yeah. The owner of the Clippers said some racist shit.
So okay. So I was thinking about this. This is going to be.
I feel bad for the dude.
Thank you.
I feel bad for him because, dude, he is an old racist fucker. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying it's right, but he's an old racist bastard.
I don't even feel. I can see why you can feel bad for him about that. But here's the thing, though. Okay, the way this transpired was this: his girlfriend, who's like probably like 25 or something like that, right? Who happens to be black and Mexican, was taking pictures with Magic Johnson, and she also brings dudes to the Clippers games. Now, if I own the fucking Clippers and my girlfriend is just bringing random dudes to the game, doesn't matter what race, that's no bueno. Like, not cool, okay?
Right.
So, in a private conversation that he has with his girlfriend, he's just like, listen, please don't bring these people to the game. It's not right that he's racist, but also it's not right that this bitch recorded him and sold the shit to TMZ.
Yep.
And she also fucking extorted money from the dude before this happened. He was about to cut her off. So before she got completely cut off, she fucking set him up and provoked him to say this racist shit and record him and then sell it to TMZ and make some more money.
Yep.
So even though the shit that he said isn't cool, the way that they found it, the way that the NBA heard about it was from TMZ, and the way TMZ got it was fucking illegal. So even though the shit he said isn't cool, it should have never came out.
There's a lot of fuckery in that situation.
Yeah.
The guy's an asshole for fucking being racist, right?
Yeah.
But, his fucking show.
It's not illegal to be racist, though. It's not illegal to be racist. I'm not saying it's right. It's not morally right, but it's not illegal to be racist. He wasn't. Now
it brings up, and I don't want to seem racist here, but it brings up like privacy rights, right?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like if someone wants to be a racist cocksucker in the privacy of their own home, I'm sorry if you're gonna fucking hate me for that, but I feel like people should be able to.
Yeah, if you are that way in the privacy of your own home and it doesn't hurt other people, then you're fine.
If you want to sit on your couch and be like, fuck Asians, I fucking hate them. Like,
I probably won't go over to your house, but go for it, bro.
Someone shouldn't be in your house recording that and like sending it to TMZ. Like,
yeah,
we've come to a point where we have no privacy anymore, right? And that's the scary thing. I see this issue and I'm like, oh, what a racist
and
asshole.
Also, we've come to a point where literally we have to question what we think or say because of the 10% of idiots out there, or the majority of idiots out there.
It's a really scary times that we live in. We literally have no privacy.
And the fucked up part about this whole conversation is people are going to take what we just said as if we support the dude and we hate black people. Like, that's what they're going to think.
Yeah. If Al Sharpton saw this, like, he'd be like, fucking, they hate niggers.
Yeah, the BadKidCast hates the N people.
Yeah, like, it's just, and that's the society we live in now. It's crazy. Like, I seen a commercial that was hilarious. It was picking on this whole thing that happened with Don Sterling, right? And it was a bunch of athletes from all different races and creeds that got together, and they were like, it's a comedy skit, but they were doing like this infomercial. They were like, we feel it's wrong that Don Sterling said this stuff, and like it's going to each individual race, and it gets to the Indian guy, and they keep like pushing him out and like cutting him off. Like they take like how they're talking is they're passing the ball to each other, right? And once they have the ball, they talk. Every time the Indian dude gets it, he's like, yeah, my people were here first and you stole the... And they're like, shut up. And they like, take the ball from him. And then the black guy's like, yeah, everyone's being racist towards us. And the Asian dude's like, everyone thinks we have small dicks.
Yeah.
Like, and reality of it, right? I wish that... I think that race is never going to go away. Racism is never going to go away because at the end of the day, we categorize things. We assume, when we're making decisions, we stereotypes or whatever you want to call it. We do that. There's no way around it. You see someone, and if they're fucking has a mohawk, right? You don't think that person's a priest. You don't.
Yeah.
They have a fucking mohawk, right?
We judge people off their appearance, whether it's a personal appearance or whether it's an actual nationality appearance.
Yeah, there's no way around it.
Yeah.
I wish that that society would stop crying about racism so much and stop overreacting, because every time we overreact like that, I feel like it propels it.
It's
right?
almost more racist.
Yeah, it's like. Look, people are being racist. They're being racist. It's like fear mongering, right?
Yeah.
Why can't we just live in a society where like, that was some stupid shit you said. Like, that's fucked up. Yeah. And that's it. That's the end of it, right?
And every racist thing that's been said, the idea of racism, I think, comes from, there are a lot of things that it comes from, but it's the idea of stereotypes. Every racist thing that you say about black people or Asian people or women or Jewish people or whatever, it's because the bottom 1% of that community, there's something there. It's not just like, we're not going to be like, black people love MacGyver. Well, what? Like that, there's nothing to base that off of. But really, every racial stereotype is coming from something.
Right.
It's coming
it's not just made up.
It's just not just made up out of the blue. It's coming from something.
One thing I was thinking about is like, I seen all these people coming out saying like Donald Sterling is the most racist son of a bitch. I'm like, okay, when I think of someone that's like racist towards African Americans, I think of like the KKK. I think of like people wanting to kill them. Like this dude had black players, right? He worked with black. He fucking owned an NBA team. Like he worked with black people all the time.
Yeah.
It wasn't a situation where Don Sterling.
I think it's David Sterling.
Whatever his name is. It wasn't a situation where he wanted to like remove this race from planet Earth, right?
Yeah.
He just said some stupid ass ignorant racist shit, right?
I hate to fucking.
But that's not how we label it as a society.
I hate to throw a monkey wrench in your game here, pimp. But I don't know why I said it like that. But there's been a lot of black players that have come out and been like, yeah, he was my employer, he owned the team or whatever, but he wouldn't have dinner with me.
Oh. Well, I guess that's different then.
Yeah. So, and also a lot of people came up with this whole concept of is like, so he's like a dude.
But he dated a black chick though. That's just
that.
So
yeah,
weird.
That's the part that's weird.
Yeah,
and the thing is that I've heard of that a lot, man. I've heard about those racist people that have no problem fucking like black chicks, but they're racist.
I heard a situation where a guy was white dating a black chick, and the black chick was racist as fuck, hated white people.
Uh-huh.
And it was like always calling her boyfriend like a honky or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And they broke up, and in the divorce, she was saying that he was racist. And like everybody, like all his friends came up and was like, she hated white people.
To this day, and I think we've got to end the podcast on this. To this day, one of the best comedy skits of all time is Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle.
Oh
my God.
Blind black white supremacist.
Oh my God!
At
that's
the
best.
There might be some young people in our audience. That skit was a long time ago. That's over 10 years ago. Okay.
No.
Oh, absolutely.
Damn, it's been that long?
It was like 2002 when that shit came out. It's 2014.
Dude, I remember seeing that live.
I remember seeing that shit live too.
I saw it live on Comedy Central, and I was rolling. My fucking eyes hurt.
If you haven't seen it, okay.
I bought the DVDs, the first season of Dave Chappelle.
This is the best comedy skit of all time, okay? Look up Dave Chappelle, white supremacist, okay?
Funniest shit ever. Don't give it away if people don't know about it. Guys, this has been the Bad Kid Cast. Listen, I want to see comments on iTunes that, what you think about what we talked about. I want to see comments on Spreaker. Wherever you can leave comments where this podcast is, write them. We want to read them. We want to know your feedback. I love you. Thank you for joining us on
the BadKidCast. Before you guys leave, go check out our sponsors that we listed: Campers Police USA on YouTube and the band.
And find that guy who camps. Deuces.